I have stopped counting the number of times I've heard God's voice. I've heard him speak to me audibly. I kept up with it for about 30. And then after 30, I couldn't keep up with it no more. I have no idea how many times the King has spoken to me. I've heard his audible voice. But you know, some people say, well, maybe you just think you're hearing his voice. Let me go back to the second time I heard his voice, and I'm going to ask you what you think about this. The second time that I heard God's audible voice, it was back in about 79. And I was an engineer for a large corporation, and I was building buildings, designing equipment for them all over the country. And I had a project going on in Houston. And I went down to Houston on Monday morning, and being the regional engineer, I thought, well, I'll go by the corporate office because it's right there on the airport, and I'll catch them up on my paperwork before I go out to the job site. But you know how men are. We only open one box at a time. So I got the project open, and I drive right by the corporate headquarters and don't even think about stopping there. So I go out to the project, and I'm out on the back of the lot, and we got a big stack of steel and stuff out there, and it's all supported well with supporting structure. And I'm in under there checking some stuff, and all of a sudden I hear this voice, son, you forgot to do your paperwork this morning. I said, Lord, I did. I said, I was going to do that when I first come by there, but said, Lord, I forgot it. But I said, Lord, I just like 15 minutes. I'll finish up under here, and then I'll run right back over there and do it. He said, no, son, I want you to go do it right now. So I said, okay. So I just laid down what I had in hand, and I crawled out from under there, and I stood up and took the second step, and I heard a blast. And when I did, I turned around to see that the supporting structure holding that 20,000 pounds of steel had exploded. And that 20,000 pounds of steel was laying flat on the ground where I was 5 seconds before. Now, you'll never convince me that wasn't God that spoke to me. You know, somebody may say you had too much pizza the night before, but I got news for you. I didn't eat pizza at all the night before. So it wasn't the pizza. But every time I've had an experience like that with God, let me tell you, it'll change your life forever.